What's going on, YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing a quick review on the Vander USA M14 Plus, the unit right behind me. The reason being is I was not able, when I was looking to upgrade my system that I had, there was no videos on this one at all. And at the time it was relatively new, so I understand it, but still to this day, none of your big reviewers or anything, they're not reviewing this unit, which is pretty sad, because I feel like this unit is right up there with Force USA C20, the Rogue FM6, as well as the Rep Aries 2.0. All right, and we're gonna go through everything so you kind of see what's going on. All right, I'm not a reviewer, right? I'm just a customer. I'm just doing this video because I feel it needs to be done for the community, for those of you that are looking at upgrading your system and want an all-in-one that comes with everything in one purchase, right? And I got to tell you, this has been amazing for me, okay? I love this product. So far, so good. I haven't had no issues. A lot of pros, and we're going to go through that, and then obviously there's going to be some cons as well. So I'm going to kind of talk about how I settled on this unit, and then I'll probably pick the camera up, walk around, and kind of show you the different pieces, and also go through some exercises with it. All right, so a little bit of a background. So before this, I had the Mikolo M3. That was the first garage gym setup that I ever had, right? And I absolutely loved it, right? It wasn't 3x3, it wasn't commercial grade or anything like that, but it was my first power rack with a functional trainer, and it checked all the boxes for me. I used it every single day for the last a little over 2 years. And it was great, right? But at this point in time, I was ready to upgrade, right? So I was looking at everything on the market. This is towards the end of October, right? I'm looking at everything. I know the deals are coming in November. But at this point, I'm like, I'm just going to get, I just want to get everything in before the new year. And if the deals in November overtake what I purchased, then I'm good with it, right? Or I'll cancel it and then order something new, right? Because I knew that the shipping times were going to be long lead times because of the time period, right? So anyway, so I put all my garage stuff up for sale, and I end up going with the Rogue FM6 functional trainer. Was super excited. Couldn't wait. I measured the garage and had everything, started setting everything up for it. And I waited for a little over a month, almost 2 months, and I had no shipping information, nothing at all from Rogue. And at that point, I was pretty aggravated. I understand they have long lead times with Rogue. But it was bothering me because I use my Mikolo every single day, pretty much, right? And now I just had an empty garage and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, then November hits. So I'm seeing all the deals. So I'm going through everything. I'm looking at all the different manufacturers. A lot of them had stuff that I would have went with, like Bells of Steel, Manicore, which I feel like is kind of like the Rogue FM6, but budget, right? Obviously, it's not going to be as good quality, but from everything I seen and read, it was good quality. But anyway, but that was sold out, right? That was sold out. The Fringe Dane 2.0, that's a big one right now, right? I looked at that. That was sold out. So I was trying not to order something else that was going to take a long time, right? Because I was pretty much over it. At this point, it's about 2 months into the process. So then the other one that I kind of always had in mind, even opposed to the Rogue, was the Force USA C20, right? And at this point in time, if you're watching this video, then you've probably watched all the other videos. When that unit came out, it exploded on YouTube. Everybody was doing reviews on it, and it looked amazing, right? So I was excited for that, right? So I canceled the Rogue, and I went with Force USA. It said it was in stock, so on and so forth. I ordered it with the weight stacks, not the sliding bench. Wasn't kind of was gonna wait till the new one came out, but anyway, so I put that one on order, right? So then same deal. I waited another month, and they hadn't shipped it. I'm going through the forums, I'm going through Reddit, and everyone's talking about how they're waiting on their units and all this crap, right? So fast forward, it's Veterans Day, right? Or it's approaching Veterans Day, and in between that time period, I had seen a picture or something on Facebook for this rack, right? And then I go on YouTube to try to look up reviews, so on and so forth. And like I said, couldn't really find anything. There's like 2 videos. There's an assembly video, and it looked pretty serious, right? It looks like a serious system. So I did my research, right? Fast forward, Veterans Day. I'm in the military, right? So I reach out to the company and I say, do you have any deals for Veterans Day? Because they didn't have any promotional offerings on the website or anything like that. They come right back. We'll give you $600 off of the unit, as well as if you get the unit along with the bumper plate set, which is what I wanted to do. And that's what I told them in the email anyway. So I'm like, that's pretty legit. It was $1,000 off at the time anyway. So that's a good discount. And I said, well, what are we looking at for shipping times? So on and so forth. And he was like, I believe it was a Thursday, right? So it's like a Thursday, and he's emailing me back and forth like quick, which I was very appreciative of. And he said, if you order it by Sunday, we will ship it by Monday. I didn't believe him, right? But whatever, right? So then I'm thinking about it for the next few days, and then I end up canceling the Force USA because I emailed them, and then I'm like, when's it gonna ship? They're like, we're still waiting on the weight plates, blah blah blah, and I didn't have no concrete time period, and I was like, all right. So anyway, and this unit was very appealing also because you buy the rack or whatever, right? The bench came free, and then the bench came with a preacher bar. It came with a leg attachment. They just updated the system, so they had all the new attachments, which we'll go through. So it was very appealing. And if you put this against the Force USA C20, they go toe to toe. The biggest difference is the articulating arms, which is something I wanted, and the fact that you could take the pulleys and put them together, and from the lat pull down, right, and the low row, you can't do that on this, but it is what it is, right? You're always going to have some things that you have to deal with. So anyway, I order this unit. Guess what? Ships on Monday. I'm ecstatic. It comes a week later. So it ships that Monday, and then I get it the following Wednesday. So a little over a week, right? It takes me 3 days to build. Granted, it was during Thanksgiving, right? I got it the day before Thanksgiving. So, I went and did the whole family thing, and then dipped off 3 hours, work on it, go back, come back. So that's kind of why it took me longer. Shipping, as far as how it came and all that kind of stuff, every single piece was individually wrapped. It took me 3 hours just to get every piece out the box, the wrapping off of it, tossing out all the trash. Took me 3 hours to do all that. I did that first before I did anything. So no issues there. As far as quality, everything is super robust. I mean, obviously, I've never had another piece of equipment that was 3x3 steel, so I really don't have anything to compare it to. But I would say there's no way that you compare this to Rep or Force USA and say that they are, miles better than this. There's no way. Maybe Rogue, I don't know. But even in that case, I don't know, and I don't really personally see it. For a garage gym, something that's this rock steady, solid, you don't need anything better than that. Anything better than that could be more of a disadvantage than an advantage, right? And I will tell you, like, this unit is so solid. It weighed 2,400 pounds out the box, right? Put it together. It doesn't move at all. It does not move at all. So it's been tremendous in that aspect for me. You could see the hardware. I think they're 1.25 inch bolts, super solid. So yeah, it wasn't the most fun piece of equipment to put together, to be honest with you. It was a lot of pieces, but the attention to detail and that kind of stuff was really good. And it's definitely a quality product. You're definitely getting what you paid for. This unit, without the sales and stuff like that, is $8,000 just for the power rack, right? So the M14 Plus is the one that comes with the Smith machine, or you can get it without the Smith machine if you want to save a little space and you don't care for a Smith machine. I opted for the Smith machine. I'd rather have it. Even though I don't use it that often, I'd rather have it just in case I do want to use it, right? Or I change up my training later on. So it's about $8,000 for this, right? And then it was $1,400 for the plates, and the plates also came with a barbell, all right? And like I said, the bench came with it along with the attachments as well. So it's pretty much the whole package, right? So I'm gonna pick up the camera real quick, and then we're gonna go through the machine a little bit and kind of cover everything. All right, so as you can see, it's an absolute beast. It's beautiful. Every time I bring somebody in here and they see it, they're just amazed. Just the way it looks, the stance, everything about it, right? So you got these pulleys, right? So these pulleys are 2-to-1. They're connected to 300-pound stacks. So you got a 300-pound stack on that side, 300 pounds on this side, 2-to-1 ratio. That's going to give you the better length, and then also better for things like shoulders and stuff like that, where you don't need all the weight. So it cuts the weight in half, just like all the functional trainers, right? Then you got these up here. This is for the lat pull down. So these are 1-to-1. Okay, so these are 1-to-1. This is one of the issues I have with the unit. First of all, they work perfectly fine, right? Good range of motion for lat pull downs. Anything they're perfectly fine, right? My issue is, why do you have one over here and one over here, right? So I haven't figured out a way to utilize both of them. It just doesn't make sense to me. I keep the lat seat right over here, and then this is the side that I do that on. So I really don't have to do anything over here. Maybe if I want to do like tricep push downs, on a 1-to-1 ratio, but at the same time, that's not going to give me as much length on the trolley. So it's not something that I would do, right? I'm just going to use this. So that's one thing, right? One thing that was an issue. This pull-up bar, we got to talk about it. All right, this pull-up bar, this is absolutely amazing, okay? This might be controversial, but I'm going to say this is the best pull-up bar for any system on the market, period. All right, period. So here's how it works, right? So you got all these different distances that you could set it to. You push it up, and then you could push it in, and that's going to adjust your width, right? The knurling on here is super aggressive. I could have done for a more medium knurling. This is really aggressive, but I'll get used to it, right? Or you could use gloves. Not a big issue, right? So I usually put it on 4. And that's a beautiful distance for me. I have banged up shoulders. So being able to turn my wrists when I'm doing pull-ups is an absolute game changer. Absolute game changer. It also came with this style pull-up bar. If you get the M14 and not the M14 Plus, which I was a fan of this setup, however, it just wasn't going to work for my garage. If you don't have the Smith machine right here, then you could take that pull-up bar and you could put it right here. It would go right there. So this side could be kind of like a pull-up station, and then you come over here, and then you got your dip station, right? So I love that. But unfortunately, with getting the Smith machine, you can't set it up like that. So it's back here. You could still utilize it. It's not the most convenient place because of all the attachments and stuff on the pegboard. However, it works. If I really wanted to use it, I would use it. But I don't use that because I absolutely love this so much, and it feels so good. The other thing is you could put that pull-up bar on the back. So you could put that pull-up bar on the back if you wanted to. I didn't want to. I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of room in front of the unit for cable flies, so on and so forth. I wanted to make sure I had all that range. So that's that. As far as the cables and the trolleys, so you got the trolleys are on rollers, as you can see. Can you do it with one hand? Yes, you can. Is it the most convenient to do with one hand? I would say no, right? I usually use two hands. I'm sure the Rogue one, well, not the Rogue one. I'm sure the Rep Aries, from all the reviews, they say that one's real smooth and easy with one hand. That's not the case with this. All right. So just understand that. As far as, so you got aluminum pulleys on here. I don't know about the bearings or anything like that. As far as smoothness, again, I don't have anything to compare it to. However, I don't have no issue with it, right? I use it all the time for everything under the sun, and I don't have no issues with it. So take that for what it is. It works. It works as designed. All right. So this unit also came with the pegboard in the back, which I absolutely love. It came with these. So these real nice, heavy duty, right? They do have the plastic right here to make sure it doesn't affect your barbell. So yeah, but these came with the unit, very, very heavy duty, and I'm a fan. Very hard to do this with one hand. They are heavy. All right. All right, so that, they came with these J cups, which I kind of got everything, sorry about that, kind of got everything like smashed in the back over here. So these J cups, very nice, no issues, go on the unit just fine. I don't want to go through so much detail where I'm putting it on the unit and stuff like that. So if you guys want me to do another video and do that kind of stuff, let me know. But I'm just trying to do, there's so much to go over that I'm trying to hit the high points. You have some more storage options back here, which is awesome. I got a tricep strap that I put back here. This is for the Fringe Sport belt squat for squatting for my wife, and then I got my belt for my back, deadlifts, all that kind of stuff. All right, so these actually came with the unit. So these three, as well as these two mag grips, obviously off brand, but work perfectly. I love them. That was a nice feature to come with the machine. It really didn't come with that many attachments. Really, it was just those, and then these D handles, which I'm not gonna lie, these D handles are pretty trash. I just put them up on the unit so you could see while I was doing the review. I just bought these from Amazon, super cheap. Bought these and bought this. Right, so I'm kind of starting to use those. Definitely better than these though, but it is what it is, right? So as far as the Smith machine goes, Smith machine, it's nice and smooth, very heavy, and just functions as any other Smith machine. It's not super fancy. It's not going on an angle or anything like that. I know they're starting to do stuff like that. This is more of the traditional up and down. You see the style safeties that you got, right, with the springs. And yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good for shoulder presses. It's good for incline chest, right? And that's what I was using it for yesterday. So what else comes with this? All right, the lat seat right here. This came with it, right? So first of all, you could use it for lat pull downs, and it's good. It's good for that. You have the little pop pin right here, so you could go up and down with the rollers to really brace your legs wherever you need them. If you put this all the way down as much as you can put your feet behind here, right? And you could do Nordic curls and kind of bounce off the floor. I've been taking my open trap bar, I put it right here. I do a Nordic curl, push up, and that's what I've been doing to try to build up the strength to actually be able to do a legitimate Nordic curl. But that's where I'm at. Then you got this lat, or this, the plate to do rows, right? There's a pop pin, so you can pull it out, push it in, whatever you need to do, all right? And then you would pull this down to be able to do that. This is where I feel like they could have done something better with that pulley and put it down there. But it is what it is. So that's definitely a fail on this one, but just something that you need to know if you're going to go into making this purchase. All right, you got the shrouds. This all came with it as well. Look very nice aesthetically. Then this is the weight plate set. So it's 400 pounds. These are competition weight plates. And it also came with a barbell, which you probably can't see the barbell because it's all the way back here in the little storage area. Okay, so it came with that holder as well. And that's the barbell. Honestly, I've never used a barbell. I can't tell you how good it is. I'm sure it's as good as any regular barbell. But this is the one I use because, like I said, I have shoulder issues. So this one's a lot easier on me. I don't even really like using the Smith machine that much because it's a straight bar. But every once in a while, I like to switch it up. If you look back here, you can see the landmine attachment. It also came with that. Usually you're going to see that on one of the extension feet over here. I don't want to do that just with the layout of everything. So I looked at right there. I think that's perfect. I could take the bench out, and then I could take the barbell right in here and go side to side or shoulder press, whatever I want to do with that. I have the room right here. So I think that's the perfect place for it. And then it's out of sight, out of mind. It's not like it's something I use all the time anyway. So it's really not a big deal, right? So next is another thing that I was a big fan of is this dip bar, right? So this is part of what was upgraded. Is now you have the stainless steel with the knurling. I don't know if the old one had knurling on it. It probably did, but it definitely wasn't stainless steel. I'm a very big fan of the stainless steel. And also for the Force USA C20, they had the rods just like this that you could take off and put anywhere you wanted. So I'm a big fan of that. So first of all, it feels amazing. I love this dip bar. It feels amazing. Super solid. The other thing that I figured out that you could do on this is you could put your back against this plate right here, grab the handles, and now you could do leg lifts. Actually, my 9-year-old daughter taught me that because she just comes on here and plays on it like it's a jungle gym. So, but yeah, so that's pretty cool. The other thing is just like the Force USA. Hold on, let me take this off real quick.